Best. All right, George Rose, a massive week. We're here in Vegas. Two big fights this week. We'll start with Liam Wilson Valdez. Thoughts on that fight?
I'm excited for it. I think seeing Liam this week, seeing him a few weeks ago, he was sparring great. I thought he looked really good in sparring, and then now he's 5 days out from the fight, and I think he looks amazing. Like his strength, his demeanour, everything about him just looks like he's in a really good place, and needs to be. Oscar Valdez, next best guy in the division.
Are you proud of Liam taking on these tough fights? You know, he said that he wants these fights. He's done with the Australian scene for now.
Yeah, I love it. I do. I love it. And he's a guy that's never said no to a fight, never said no to an opportunity, even though at the time, a lot of the time, it seemed like it was outrageous what he was attempting to do. And, he's never shied away from anything. And it's what I love about him. He's a guy who feels like he's the best in the world. He's young, he's fresh, he's ready to go. He's ready to make the most of the opportunity while he can, and I love that about him because a lot of people would shy away from that and want to take an easier route. He's just dive straight in, make it happen.
The bookies have got him as the underdog in this fight, but he says that he feels like the favourite. How do you see this fight?
Look, it plays into the Australian narrative. We love an underdog. We also love a punt when you get juicy odds, and that's something that we're all going to get for this. Liam Wilson is the underdog heading into this fight. Oscar Valdez, very popular fighter here, and it's also a great opportunity for Liam to even make more of a name for himself here. I know he blew people away with his performance against Navarrete last year, and now he's going to get the opportunity to do it again. Go in as an underdog, tens of thousands of people cheering against him in this fight, and be able to create a massive upset and get his hand raised and be the champion that we all know that he is.
You got the Tszyu fight on that same weekend. So what have you decided? How are you going to get from one to the other? Is it a jet, plane? What's the final verdict?
We're straight on the jet. We're straight. I don't want to take any risks. I think it's an expensive route, but it's important that we're able to be there on time for both fighters and let them know that they got 100% support of not only us but the Australian country behind them too.
And we've spoken about this before, but Glenn seems to think it could be for an interim title, this fight, at the very least.
Look, I think at the very least it should be. They are the next best guys in the division. Navarrete is looking to go up. So this fight is worthy of that recognition. So all we can go off is where it's at right now, and as of this moment here on Sunday afternoon in Vegas, it's not for a title yet.
Right, there you go. Tszyu, we've all moved past the Thurman drama and we're fully focused on the Fundora clash. I said to Glenn that it's Thurman had the big name and Tim gets recognition from beating him, but this has almost ended up a bigger and better fight.
Yeah, well, I know in boxing circles everyone's talking about this is the fight that they would have preferred anyway. And I mean the fact that we get a belt out of it, it's the fight I prefer now too. So I mean for all of us, growing up watching Thurman and seeing what he's done in the sport, it would have been a great opportunity for for Tim to come in and make a big statement here in Vegas against him. But it's also a huge opportunity for him to make a statement against Fundora. Fundora, the guy who before the Mendoza loss was still touted as the guy who would reign in the division, and so Tim's got his opportunity to again stamp his mark on this division and make a statement here in America against one of what was touted as their future stars.
Now, Terence Crawford, everyone's talking about this thing with Terence Crawford. Is it hard for you guys not to get too ahead of yourself? And I assume Tim's fully focused on Fundora, but how hard is it for you guys not to get excited?
No. Well, look, it's a must that we get ahead of ourselves. Especially not only for Tim, for all our fighters. We have to have a plan. We have to have a pathway for them. And where Tim's at now is that there are fights like this that are showing up for him. So while it's not something that's locked away yet, it's good to know that that fight is there in the future. You know, there's great opportunities for him. Not only Crawford. There's guys like Spence. There's still other guys that we have been interested in. You know, if we're fighting here in America, there's still guys like Lubin and that out there too. So you know, anybody who wants it at 154, they can come get it.
Would that Crawford fight, if he invokes his mandatory status, does that have to happen next, or can Tim go and unify the WBA belt, or what's the situation?
Look, it'll all come down to the sanctioning body and what their order is. You know, if they order that the fight has to take place in 120 days or 180 days, whatever it is, anything that happens then, you know, has to get their approval, has to be ticked off by them if that's not the next fight.
So, big fight for Tim this week. A lot's on the line.
Everything is on the line for Tszyu this week. Everything is on the line. You know, he's got some massive, big fights in the near future that are on the line. He's got his WBO belt is on the line, and there's opportunity at the WBC belt on the line, all against a guy who you can not prepare for in 12 weeks, let alone 12 days. But he's putting everything on the line, and you know, he needs us all in his corner, to be honest. He needs all of Australia behind him and cheering him home.
And what about on a personal level to be over here in Vegas, you know, behind this massive event? You guys must be pretty happy?
Oh, stoked. I mean, you know, walking through Vegas and the fight week vibe is starting to build here now. And, you know, I know by Saturday night when we roll into T-Mobile Arena, it's going to be a huge personal milestone for us, and it'll be topped off with Tszyu holding 2 belts in the air.
Now, Tszyu's ring walks, they're always great. Can we expect anything? What do you guys got sort of planned? It's a big stage.
Yeah.
What can we expect?
Look, no, we have been talking about it a little bit, and it's, you know, it is that juggling act, right? It's like, you know, when you've got a big fight like this, when you've got to be absolutely switched on, especially with the changes that have happened in the last week. You know, that can impact how you enter the ring. You know, your level of focus. So, you know, I want to make sure that what we end up choosing to do also fits perfectly with the fight preparation as well.
Beauty. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah.